Okay, I'm here with Rebecca Aliff, who has some interesting information potentially about the Amy Bradley case. Rebecca believes that she has met Jazz, and it was prior to when Amy went missing. And when I say Jazz, we mean the woman that was in the photograph that was from the escort service on Margarita Island, which many people believe might have been Amy Bradley, the woman that went missing off the cruise ship in '98. Not only does Rebecca think that she has met Jazz, but that possibly she did her makeup for those photo shoots. Now, Rebecca, give me a little information, a little background from you first. So, t tell me what you do. What's your day job?
I am a nursing assistant, and I'm also founder of Dream Solutions Addiction Services of Robertson County, Tennessee.
And right now
And
you live in Tennessee.
yes,
And but back in what was it, 1996, you lived in South Daytona, Florida, correct?
yes, actually, it was 1994 to 1996.
And how old were you back in 94 to 96?
So I was 14 in 1994, and I was 16 in 1996 when I left the area.
Okay. And so when you saw this photo of Jazz from the escort site, tell me how you saw this picture originally. Where did it show up on your TikTok feed or something? How did you find the picture?
No, I was on Facebook and I was just scrolling and I it was just a headshot of Jazz. And so like I lost my breath. Like my stomach, my heart went to my stomach. I honestly thought it was going to be some kind of article that was going to tell me that she had passed away or something like that.
Because you
And
recognized her right away, right? And who did
yes,
you recognize her as? How did you know this person?
I knew her as Jazz. She, so I was my best friend lived in a apartment building by the movie theater in South Daytona, Florida.
What
We
street
were
would that have been on?
South Ridgewood Avenue.
Okay.
We went to the pool after school, and we were there one day, and this beautiful woman comes walking through the gate, and she's got this like long legs, really pretty. She had a big mane of beautiful black curls. And the she had on the skimpiest bikini I've ever seen in my life, and she had heels on. And I instantly thought, why would someone wear heels to a pool? And the woman wouldn't speak to us. And so for months, I would try to figure out where she was going. And she did it very well, like tried to divert me from figuring out where she was going. But I waited one day in a place where she couldn't see me. And I saw her in front of her apartment door with a man that I recognized from a bar where my father went every night.
Tell me about that bar that your father and this other man would hang out in.
It was called the Office Bar. It was in South Daytona, Florida. It was right beside a laundromat, and there was a trailer park behind the laundromat.
Okay. So you had seen this guy at that bar, and you see him at the apartment complex with this woman who you come to know as Jazz. So what happens from there?
So I approached them and I walked up to him and I asked him why she wasn't allowed to talk to people. Because by now I've done figured it out that someone has been telling her she can't talk to people. And he looks at me straight in the eyes and says, "Oh, do you want to talk to her?" And I said, "Well, yes, I do." And he said, "Well, then come in." And so I went inside. The apartment was very nice. It was, I'm going to say stark. Like it was very clean. There, I never saw anything laying around. I never even saw a cup on an end table. That's how neat that this house was kept. They, it had beige Berber carpeting. The walls were beige. Um, they had two ferrets. I would go over and play with the ferrets. Um, and he, so once he allowed me inside, I started coming over every day because I wanted to make sure this woman was okay.
Did she start talking to you then? Was she allowed to talk to you at that point?
Yes, he let her talk to me. Almost anything that I asked him, like not to do, he would do it. Like if I asked him to let her talk, he would let her talk. If I asked him not to do something that I didn't like to her in front of me, he wouldn't do it. Um,
Good. And did she then tell you her name? Is that how you learned her name?
yes.
Did
And
you think it was did you think it was strange that her name was, I mean, that's a weird name, Jazz. Did she explain the name at all?
now she didn't explain the name. He did. I asked him why her name was Jazz. And he said, well, her name is Susan. Who wants a high priced call girl named Susan? He said, Jazz is definitely a little bit better in the industry.
Did you know what a call girl was at that point?
No.
Um, and when did you find out what it was that she was doing for him at the time?
So I got into conversations with him, and I was a very inquisitive child. So I quizzed him up and down about things, and it kind of shocked me that he trusted me. I think that it had something to do with he knew my father, and he knew that if I went to my father, that my father was either wasn't going to believe me or my father wasn't going to get involved.
Yeah. And
Uh,
how did he treat Jazz at home?
so if he wanted something from another room, he would make her crawl on all fours to go get it. Um, Sometimes he would put a leash on her and he would walk her around the apartment and make her bark like a dog. Um, he would make her so she wasn't allowed to wear clothes. She was only allowed to wear lingerie or a bikini. So if she was in the house, she had to wear lingerie and heels. And if she went to the pool, she had to wear a bikini and heels.
Now, did you get the sense that she was consenting to this? Was that part of their deal or what?
So there was a couple of times that we were left alone, and I tried to get information out of her. She explained to me that he didn't beat on her and he didn't make her do drugs or anything like that. Um, that she that she was okay. That's how she convinced me that she was okay because I knew that she never had bruises on her, and the man did drugs, but I never saw her ever do drugs. He did allow her to drink wine.
Did you ever have a chance to be in the bedroom to see the bed to see if it matches up? Like, is the bed familiar to you from those photographs?
Yes. So actually, all I had in the beginning was a headshot. And the post that I made after I was shocked at the shock of my lifetime, I actually had someone else go and because someone said, well, this is only part of the picture. And they said that there was a bed in it. And I said, well, I want you to go and verify these details. And I listed off the details before I go and look at anything else. And so they did that and they came back and they told me yes, that everything that I said was in those pictures.
Okay, and so then so how did you come to see the bedroom inside Jazz's apartment?
That is where he took pictures of her.
Do you know
Um,
what he was using the pictures for?
he told me that they were for clients, but I didn't. I had no idea what kind of clients that those were
Yeah.
at the until he explained everything to me. At first, I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that he took weird pictures of her and she didn't like it.
And then how did you become involved in those photographs?
So, he would want her hair and makeup done and things like that. And, I like to do things like that as a teenager. And so I asked his permission if I could do her makeup and her hair and stuff like that. And he let me do that.
Do you think that do you remember those poses specifically, or how likely is it that you did her makeup for that specific shoot?
It's very, very likely. And I don't, I'm not sure how I should explain this.
Mm, if it gets too, explain it to the best of your ability for a PG-13 audience.
Okay, so when Mother Nature would come visit her, he would make her wear, um, you know, regular underwear. But other than that, she always had matching lingerie. And
Okay.
so um, I could tell that this particular picture was done the time of her month.
The
Uh,
pictures on the internet that you've seen. Now, how
yeah,
do you know that?
because of the underwear she had on.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Um, so what happens from here? Did how did you what happened to her? Did she move or did you move or how did you lose contact with Jazz?
Um, I moved. I moved from Florida to Virginia with my sister.
Did she ever talk about where she was from originally?
She didn't exactly tell me a city and state, but she did tell me that because I had told her that I was from West Virginia, and she kind of got a weird look on her face, but she said that where she grew up at, there was mountains there too.
Okay. And when did you post this you made a post on Facebook where you said you this is the Jazz that you remembered from South Daytona. When did you post that? Was it before the documentary or was it after the documentary came out?
I guess it was like I don't even know what documentary you're talking about. I haven't
Oh,
seen
you
it.
haven't seen the documentary. Oh, okay.
No.
Wow. That's it's on Netflix. It's pretty big right now. It came out last Wednesday. Do you remember when you posted on Facebook?
It's been about a month ago.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
And I
Um,
don't have it. So
what's that?
I don't have Netflix.
Okay. Now, since you posted that, have you been in contact with anybody like the FBI or the Bradley family? Has anybody reached out to you?
I have posted, like, I have made comments on a couple of the articles that I found. I really didn't know where to start, and I was afraid that I would end up with some kind of hackers or something like that. So I just kind of went and left a couple of comments on a couple of crime doc posts, hoping that a family member or the FBI would see it. And because I don't trust someone sending me some kind of link for a
Yeah,
profile,
sure.
and so that's how I
Yeah,
found
it
you.
took us a couple emails back and forth for you to be comfortable enough to speak. Um, Now, was there anybody else ever with you when you were talking to Jazz? I know you got me in touch with a friend of yours from back then who we were able to track down. Her memory's a little wonky for other reasons, but was there anybody else that was with you that ever met her?
So I did have a couple of friends that also lived in the same complex, or their boyfriend lived in the same complex. Unfortunately, I don't have their last names. Of course, my childhood best friend, I had her last name,
Yeah,
but But I do have a couple of other people. We had a friend named Tommy, a friend named Cammy. She had a sister named Tiffany, and there was a guy named Tito. But like I said, I don't have their last names.
But that's certainly enough that if the FBI wants to track this down, they're going to be able to find some of those people that might cooperate. And I'm interested in if we can track down the exact apartment number, there might be a way to do reverse address searches from back then. It'd be a little rough for 90s, but it's possible. Um, I wonder whatever, became of her too. How certain in your mind, when that picture came up, and her name's Jazz, which is a hell of a coincidence if it's not her, but how certain are you that this is the same Jazz that you met in South Daytona in 1994?
I'm 100% certain.
Okay.
100% certain. And, and I've even since then remembered other details. Like, and the reason why I remembered the name Jazz was because my dad, like every time I would say her name, my dad would say like, "Who? What in the world kind of name is Jazz? Who would name their?" And I would tell him, "Well, that's not her real name, and her real." For some reason I was thinking Suzanne, but it wasn't. It was Susan.
Susan.
It was the way my dad was saying her name that
Yeah. Well, if Susan's out there listening to this or watching this, hopefully she'll reach out and we can put this rumor to bed. Um, But yeah, is there anything else that sticks out in your mind that was just a detail about jazz or worth mentioning?
I can say that if if you ever met her, you would never forget her.
Yeah,
She was very sweet and very kind and very humble, and I feel like that is what ultimately put her in this dangerous position.
yeah,
She was a very good person and she didn't deserve this. And so I really hope that she is alive out there. And I also hope that they are able to find Amy and that Amy is able to be rescued. That's really what I wish for in the future.
great. Well, Rebecca, thank you very much for sharing your story. I'll be tracking it down, more on this end too, and please keep in touch, and we'll see what we can do. True Crime This Week is a Fearful Symmetry production. Photo and artwork are licensed through Shutterstock. If you like the cut of my jib, I have another podcast you might enjoy called The Philosophy of Crime, in which I attempt to solve the big questions behind our true crime obsession by looking to philosophy for answers. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week. Sit, Brownie, sit. Good dog.